starting? Is it starting yet? I think it's about to start. Welcome! What was I saying? I already lost my train of thought. What's the haps, alley cats? Welcome to Hat Hole Home Video. Welcome, Chad, already in the chat. Chatty Chad, that's what we always called him. So you might notice something a little different tonight if you're watching this after the fact. As you know, the second Monday of the month is movie night. Normally I just post a full-length feature film here for you to watch. Have, you know, put your comfy pants on, get your popcorn, sit down, watch a movie, curated by yours truly. But you know what? That's boring. That's the coward's way out. That's coward's content, is just to post a movie. Come on. So from now on, movie night is going live. We're doing it live. So here's what we'll see. Tonight we're doing it. It's midnight, Sunday night. Obviously, people work in the morning. I get it. What I'm going to try to do is throughout this week, I'm going to try to, at different days of the week, different times of day, just a couple, here and there, sprinkled throughout the week. Chad says I'm looking a little grizzly tonight. Yeah, it's late. It's been quite a weekend, you know what I'm saying? But, nah, I'm comfy. I want to be comfy, watch a movie. So I'm going to try to watch tonight's movie, this week's movie, a few times throughout the week. Sometimes in the day, sometimes at night. You know, maybe we'll watch it 3 times this week. We'll try anyway. This is the this right here is the what's gonna stay archived on the channel at Hat Hole Home Video. I'm not gonna put 3 times of watching the same movie up on the channel, so this is the one that gets preserved for posterity for all time. But for those of you that can't make this one, please, for the love of all that is sacred, or at least for the love of chili dogs, go over to Twitter and follow me at Hathole. You could also follow me at Instagram at Hathole Home Video, because at both places I do post when these things are happening. I will give you a heads up. You don't have to rely purely on hitting that bell on YouTube to tell you when these things are going to happen. You'd cover some bases. So that being said, I think we're probably just going to hop right into it. I don't have a whole lot of business to talk about. I think I just did it all. I think we just did it all. So let's start watching some House on Haunted Hill is the movie night this month, so I'm very excited. I've been doing, I walked around work all day today talking like Vincent Price. I was like, mere mortals. About everything. Okay, let's watch the movie.
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house. I've only spent 1 night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
Oh, there's the house.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000. Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests. It was my wife's idea to have our guests come in funeral cars. She's so amusing. Her sense of humor is, shall we say, original. I dreamed up the hearse. It's empty now, but after a night in the house on Haunted Hill, who knows? This is Lance Schroeder, a test pilot, so no doubt a brave man. But don't you think you can be much braver if you're paid for it? And I happen to know that Lance needs the $10,000 I'll give him, if he's brave enough to stay all night. This is Ruth Bridges. You've no doubt read her column in the newspapers. She says her reason for coming to the party is to write a feature article on ghosts. She's also desperate for money. Gambles. You've already met Watson Pritchard, a man living in mortal fear of a house, and yet he is risking his life to spend another night here. I wonder why. He says for money. This is Dr. David Trent, a psychiatrist. He claims that my ghost will help his work on hysteria. But don't you see a little touch of greed there? Around the mouth and eyes? This is Nora Manning. I picked her from the thousands of people who work for me because she needs
I need that $10,000
most. Supports her whole family. Isn't she pretty?
Isn't she pretty?
The party's starting now, and you have until midnight to find the house on Haunted Hill.
You've said the house on Haunted Hill twice in the last minute. We get it. I actually just read that this house is a house, and it was recently for sale, and it still looks exactly like this. Is $10,000? What was this? Was 1959? So what was $10,000? What was the equivalent? So is the house haunted or the hill? Chad, that's a very good question. It's the return of the curse of the creature's ghost. Oh, but while we have a quiet moment in the movie, I found a really funny YouTube channel where a guy reviews toys, but he reviews them while doing a Vincent Price impression, and it is the most entertaining thing I've watched in a long time. It was he was reviewing a Dr. Doom action figure, and he's just going, his cape comes off and his waist seems to move. And he's just, it's not scripted, he's just, like, playing with a toy and just sort of riffing. It was really funny. And he did a spot on, that's why I was looking for it, because everybody's Vincent Price impressions, they're funny, but they're often, like, I've never heard one that's good. Bill Hader, Michael McKean, like, all the people who I know do, even when he's on The Simpsons, I think it's Harry Shearer does it. They're funny, but they're not accurate. And this guy, I'll have to look him up again. He does a spot, like, it is as spot on as I've ever heard. I would have thought it was really Vincent Price. The buying power, so that it was 87, it's the equivalent of getting $87,000 now. The $10,000 back then. Oh, for $87,000, I think I would spend the night in a spooky old haunted house. Yeah, I think I would have to, huh? Is it under the table?
It isn't a very warm welcome, is it?
Only the ghosts in this house are glad we're here.
Are we all strangers to each other? Don't you two know each other?
I'm afraid I don't even know your name.
I'm Nora Manning.
Lance Schroeder.
Is Frederick Lauren a friend of yours?
I've heard of him, but I've never met him.
I work for one of his companies, but I've never seen him.
Most people, yeah,
never
Jack.
met the man either.
Most people
Just a
only
phone call.
imitate his
You
high
know
range.
him.
That's true. This guy was really good. This guy
Then
did.
you're the only one of us who does.
He'll talk about it, and
I
he'll
don't
be
mind.
like,
All
This
the
comes
details about
over
renting the
here,
house were done by
and
mail.
who, and he would
He's
go
quite
down.
wealthy.
He was really good at it.
Millions.
That's all I'm
And
saying.
5 wives, I believe.
Tax
Four,
free,
I think, so
cash money.
A $50,000 party for only 5 people is a little steep, even for a millionaire.
Well, if I were going to haunt anybody, this would certainly be the house I'd do it in.
Well, Chad, this guy is clearly the hunk.
Who closed the door?
Look at your lineup. You got squirrely little Debbie Downer. You've got the weird doctor, and you got
This
Hunk.
thing's made of solid steel.
I don't know what to tell you. I'd be going Hunk. Look at it. He's a man of action. He swooped right in. Thank you, Jackie boy. I'm not gonna lie, I've been talking like Vincent Price quietly to myself at work all day. I'm sure my coworkers think I'm quite mad.
Annabelle.
I was all excited
Our
for
guest
House on
here,
Haunted Hill
unfortunately,
tonight.
still alive. Is your face on yet?
Dust
Ooh la
dirt
la.
everywhere, and the water barely trickles. Couldn't you have had the place cleaned?
Atmosphere, darling. You know how ghosts are. They never tidy up. And that's a very fetching outfit, but hardly suitable for a party.
I'm not going to the party.
The spend-the-night ghost party was your idea, remember? Since it's going to cost me $50,000, I want you to have fun.
The party was my idea until you invited all the guests. Why, all these strangers were none of our friends.
Friends? Do we have any friends?
No, your jealousy took care of that.
I had a reason for inviting each guest. I wanted kind of a cross-section. From psychiatrist to typist, and from drunk to jet pilot. They share one thing. They all need money. Now let's see if they're brave enough to earn it.
And you call this a party?
Could be.
Why do you always do that? It spoils the champagne.
It might explode.
Never does.
Would you guarantee that?
That isn't funny, Frederick.
Make a good headline. Playboy kills wife with champagne cork. Will you join me?
No, thank you.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
My humor is fine, thanks. And I haven't poisoned it.
It's always good to know that. Have some. You'll enjoy the party more. Go on.
Your trust is so touching. And I'm not going to the party.
Of all my wives, you're the least agreeable.
But still alive.
Would you go away for $1 million tax-free? You want it all, don't you?
I deserve it all. Your jealousy isn't tax-free, and your possessiveness is maddening.
If ever a man had grounds for divorce,
But can't prove them.
the time will come. You'll slip up one of these days,
Think so?
if I live long enough. You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes, arsenic on the rocks. Annabelle, you'd do it again if you thought you could get away with it, wouldn't you?
Darling, what makes you think that?
Something about you. I hear that hanging is very uncomfortable, in case you get any more ideas. Now, don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you, darling.
Darling, the only ghoul in the house is you.
And don't sit up all night thinking of ways to get rid of me. It makes wrinkles.
Ouch. Her face did not have a single wrinkle. I will tell you that. What?
This is what she used on my brother and her sister. Hacked them to pieces. We found parts of the bodies all over the
He
house.
seems stable.
In places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is the heads have never been found.
That is
Hands
funny.
and feet and things like that. But no heads.
The wife, probably in a rage, threatened her husband with a knife and then, carried away by hysteria, took a swing at him and simply went on from there.
Yeah.
She certainly went on. How many people did she kill, Mr. Pritchard?
Only two. Her husband and her sister. No one else was here.
So there are two loose heads just floating around in here somewhere?
You can hear them at night. They whisper to each other and then cry.
Since our host isn't here, would anyone care to mix me a drink?
Certainly. What will you have?
Good evening. I'm your host, Frederick Lauren. Since we're all strangers to each other, let's get acquainted with the drink, shall we?
Mr. Lauren, I advise you to call this party off now. The ghosts are already moving, and that's a bad sign.
Let me apologize for my wife. She'll join us later. What do you have?
Scotch and.
Doctor?
I'll have the same.
Now, before the party begins, let's go over the details. The caretakers will leave at midnight, locking us in here until they come back in the morning. Once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of, and the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help.
Like a coffin.
Yeah, he's still got that knife.
So if any of you decide not to stay for the party, you must let me know before midnight. Of course, if you leave, I shan't be able to pay you anything.
I'm interested in your reasons for this,
Nobody says shan't
party.
Anymore.
Aside from the pleasant company.
I'm sorry, officer, but I
Ghosts?
shan't be able to comply with
I
your
think
orders.
everyone wonders what they would do if they saw a ghost. And now my wife has given us all the opportunity to find out.
Amusing. Ghosts, etc., being only creations of hysteria, your party should be a success.
Well, Pritchard here
That
promises
doesn't
us
sound like
genuine
a real
ghosts.
accent.
7 now.
Hysteria.
Maybe more before morning.
That's cheerful.
4 men have been murdered in this house. And 3 women.
You planned your party very well, Mr. Lauren. 4 of us are men, 3 are women. Well, a ghost for everybody.
Well, yeah, we're going to bring back
Pritchard, why
shan't.
don't you take us on a tour through the house and...
Although it sounds a
what
little
happens, huh?
too much like shat.
See that stain? Blood. A young girl was killed here. And whatever got her wasn't human. Don't stand there.
I tour. When I give people a tour of my house, it starts in a similar way. See that stain?
It's too late. They've marked you.
Ridiculous. The roof probably leaks.
Oh, that must be what it is. Who would want to haunt me?
I would say any self-respecting male ghost.
I hope it doesn't come back.
Well, Mr. Pritchard, you're the life of the party.
Oh, he hasn't even started yet. Wasn't there a man who threw his wife into a wine vat or something?
That was in the cellar. There's been a murder almost every place in this house. And all this belonged to a Mr. Norton, who didn't die here. He was electrocuted later. Mr. Norton did a good deal of experimenting with wines, but his wife didn't think it was any good. So he filled the vat with acid and threw her in. She was supposed to stay down, but the bones came up. It's a funny thing, but none of the murders here were just ordinary. Just shooting or stabbing. They've all been sort of wild, violent, and different.
Look out!
Whoa, lady.
God, she didn't fall in.
You mean there's still acid in there?
destroys everything with hair and flesh. Just leaves the bones. My, it's dry and dusty down here.
Well, there's a cure for that upstairs. Come on.
How'd you get invited to this party? No. Oh, go on. I mean, what'd he tell you?
All right, that's real.
Mr. Lawrence said everybody'd get $10,000.
Can't block someone's path like that
But he didn't
down
say
in the
anything about
basement.
being locked in.
Dude,
No.
I don't care if you are the hunk.
He just made the deal with me on the phone, but nothing about having to stay.
Aren't you going to stay?
If I don't, I lose $10,000.
I'm going to stay too. $10,000.
Yeah.
$10,000.
You believe in ghosts?
I don't know.
Well, I agree with what that doc says. You can spook yourself. I've done it in planes. Seen things that weren't really there. Or were they? What are you going to do with your $10,000? If we get it.
What do you mean if we get it? Won't he pay us if we stay?
Ah, sure he will. 10,000 is no more to him than a nickel is to us.
We were in an automobile accident. Now I'm the only one in the family who can make any money.
Boy, I've never seen so many doors.
There's like 2 doors, but that's fine.
Closet? Bottles.
Okay, there's 3 doors.
Does it go anywhere? Lance! Lance!
This is the hot chicks room. Oh my, that's the hot chicks room. Never mind, I'll come back. See you, Lance.
Help me, please. Lance is gone, and there's a ghost.
See what I mean?
Please, come on.
Did she say
It's-
Lance is gone? Gone where?
It's her hysteria.
We'll have to break it down. It's locked.
Locked? You all right? Nothing that money won't cure. I must have bumped my head.
The only way you could bump your head in here is to
It's
run
from
head on into the wall.
hysteria.
You didn't do that, did you? Let's get a bandage on that.
I wonder why they didn't kill him.
Who?
He didn't bump his head. They hit him.
They?
Nora, when you came in, you said something about a ghost.
There was something.
What did it look like?
Well, it was wearing a black thing that went all the way to the floor.
Weren't you a little frightened at the time?
A dress.
Well,
It's
yes.
called a dress.
That, Mr. Loren, is hysteria.
Well, then, Doctor, how do you explain what happened to Lance? Was that hysteria, too?
You better get that checked in a day or so.
Thanks, Doc. Wait for me in the hall.
The ghosts are coming closer, Mr. Loren.
You really believe in your pet ghost, don't you, Pritchard?
Before the night's over, you will, too.
Would you like a drink, Lance?
No, thanks.
I'd like one. Scotch and. Mr. Loren, are you really going to pay anyone who stays all night?
Certainly. $10,000.
Will there be much red tape or delay?
You in a hurry, dear?
Frankly, yes. Or frantically.
There you are, my dear.
Someone or something was in here when I came in. But where? And if the door was locked, how did it get out? What you saw might have been a ghost, Nora, but what was in here with me was no ghost.
I don't know. I was so scared.
Does it sound different to you?
Yes.
Three, 6, 9, 12. 12 feet. Three, 6. Now, I'm going to knock on the other wall. When you hear me, you knock on this wall. Tap lower down. Where'd it come from?
From in here.
Groovy. Welcome to the chat.
What if it ran out of here? I'd have seen it.
Lance, it doesn't run. It just floats.
Yeah, but why didn't I see it?
Yeah, he would have still seen it, lady.
You don't believe me.
Well, how can I?
Oh, she is just done.
I'm Annabelle Loren. You must be Miss Manning. I realize this is a very unusual and I'm afraid very dull party. Wouldn't you like to freshen up? This is your room.
Oh, please
Depressing,
let
isn't
them
it?
start kissing.
I doubt if I'll spend much time here.
It's going to rain. Perfect atmosphere for my husband's party. Why did you come here?
He said he'd give me $10,000.
Why did he pick you?
I don't know. My supervisor just came and said I'd been invited.
How long have you known my husband?
I just met him tonight.
So? Why you? What were you doing wandering around by yourself?
Well, I was in the cellar with Lance, Mr. Schroeder, and I just left, that's all.
Don't do it again. Don't go anywhere in this house by yourself. Now fix your face and I'll come by for you in a few minutes.
Fix your face.
You're in danger. We all are.
But who?
I hope for your sake you never find out. I'm Annabelle Lauren. Were you looking for something?
Not exactly.
Are you the doctor?
No, I'm Lance Schroeder.
The pilot. You've hurt yourself.
Oh, it's just a bump on the head. Which is my room?
I believe this is it.
Thank you, Mrs. Lauren.
Annabelle Lance.
Ooh.
You were with the young girl in the cellar. Why was she so upset?
Was she?
And you don't look like the type to go around bumping his head. What really happened, Lance?
Well, Nora thought she saw a ghost, but I didn't see anything.
She was just frightened then.
And mad at me, I think. I kidded her about it.
Yeah. Chad's
I
right.
wouldn't joke about anything
She said,
else that happens here tonight.
never be alone in the
Don't
house.
tell me you're taking all this
Now
serious.
I'm going to leave you alone in the house.
Well, I'd like to find out what hit me.
Lance,
Hit this.
if I need help, may I count on you?
Yeah, sure, I guess so. Look, what's going on here anyway? I mean, what is with this party?
This is no party. He's planning something.
Your husband?
I wish I knew what it was.
Must be pretty big if he's going to lay out 50,000.
The money doesn't mean anything.
Yes, Groovy.
He has
I
a
suppose you
reason
probably
for getting
can't
this all
hear
up
me
into this
talking
dreadful
either,
house.
but
Well, what for? He doesn't
Babylon
even know
is
us.
not too tough
Maybe
on the
that's exactly
eyes,
why
I'll
you're
tell you
here.
that.
Well, what can he get away with?
Oh, he thinks that big money like his can get away with anything. You know, of course, that I'm his fourth wife. The first simply disappeared. The other two died. Lance, I don't want to join them.
You mean he,
Oh, his doctor said they died of heart attacks. 2 girls in their 20s.
Well, what can he do?
My husband is sometimes insane with jealousy. Nothing matters to him then. Please be careful.
Would he hurt you?
He would kill me if he could.
Annabelle, you're missing all the fun. Nora Manning was almost killed by a falling chandelier. The pilot bashed his head in.
Is he badly hurt?
The Saturnine psychiatrist bandaged him up. Don't you want to go and console him, as you do most men, in your fashion?
You're so clever, Frederick.
Yes, I lie awake nights wondering why I married you. It was rather a mistake.
You didn't marry me, dear. I married you. Unpleasant, but no mistake.
Hurry up.
Frederick, for the last time, I'm not going to your party.
And for the last time, it's not my party, but yours. And you are going.
I am not.
You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
Would you adore me as much if I were poor? No. All you want to be is a lovely widow. It's almost time to lock up the house. And then your party will really begin.
Yeah, Chad, it's hard to imagine when it was when this relationship was, like, positive? When they actually liked being around each other? I can't really imagine Vincent Price going on fun dates with a young girl.
Be down in a minute.
Who is it?
Your host, my dear. It's almost midnight, Nora. We're all going to get together down in the living room.
All right, Mr. Lloyd. I'll be right down.
Oh my God! She's having a tough time. What? Why would you go through mysterious curtains? Why wouldn't you just go downstairs to where you know there's people in safety and not the spooky dark hallway? Not the spooky dark hallway. Oh my.
Come with us. Come with us before he kills you.
That guy seemed to be pretty reasonable.
Where's Nora? Miss Manning.
Is that the face she was supposed to put on? Fix your face. You got an extra one in your bag.
Stay here.
Nora, what happened? That's Jonas Slides and his wife. They've been caretakers here for years.
Jonas Slides. That sounds like a blues musician. Jonas Slides and his
Doctor,
wife.
it looks like we have a real case of hysteria on our hands.
Before he
I think he's
kills
just a
you.
little upset, not hysterical.
If that guy brings up hysteria one more time.
Good evening.
Hello, my dear. This is my wife. These are our guests. Ruth Bridgers, Dr. Trent.
Yeah,
You know
let's
Watson
meet
Pritchard, of
everybody
course,
all
Nora
over
Manning,
again.
And this is Lance Schroeder.
Oh yeah, and them, they're over there.
Get me out of here.
Now, what about the 10,000?
I don't care. He wants to kill me.
Who wants to kill you?
Mr. Lawrence.
May I have your attention, please? I think you all remember the bargain we made about staying all night. $10,000 apiece. If any of you don't survive, $50,000 will be divided amongst the rest of you. If I should die, you will be paid by my estate. When the door is locked from the outside by the caretakers, we'll all be forced to stay in this house until morning. If any of you decide not to stay, you must leave with the caretakers now. You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
I don't want to stay.
Wait.
They're just like, peace out. That's why they call him Jonas Slides, because he slides out the exit.
It isn't midnight yet. Who told them they could leave?
They never leave before midnight.
Well, they've gone now. I was going to ask you whether you
How
want
much
to
do they
stay
get
or
if
not,
they
but it seems that
stay
the
all
caretakers
night?
have made the
I think
decision for you.
that's just the 10
We're
grand,
all
right?
locked in now.
But I don't want to stay.
And I'm sorry, my dear, but it's too late now.
Darling, haven't you had
Darling.
enough of the silly game? Get some cars up here for these people and let them go home. But pay them first.
This is your party. Remember? In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the impossible, we will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock in the morning. But we have some party favors for you in these little coffins.
Cute.
This is my wife's idea. I must say, I think it's rather dangerous. I suppose you all know how to use one of these things, but in case you don't, you just press down on this lever with your thumb and then pull the trigger.
All right.
You see, they're loaded.
These are no good against the dead, only the living.
Doctor?
But he still takes the gun, so there we go.
Lance?
Lance, yep, we're gonna introduce we're gonna say every character by name again.
Go ahead, take it.
$10,000 if you stay the night. Nora, Lance.
Miss Bridges.
I'm surprised he's not going through again each individual reason for why each of them is there.
Your idea. Who knows, you may want to use it on me before this night is over.
Throw these guns away. They won't do you any good.
I agree with
He
Richard
got
on
real
that point,
drunk real fast.
although not for the same reason.
Dr. Trent,
That is a nice shot.
don't you
How
approve
the
of our
reveal of
little
what's
party
in
favors?
the coffins was kind of, I don't know
Suppose
how
Nora had
intentional
had a gun
that
when she mistook
that
the
was,
blind
but it
woman
was
for a ghost.
I don't think anyone else is
it was
going
good
to walk around
visual
in total
storytelling.
darkness.
Oh, I'm sure we're not going to go running around the house shooting each other, aren't you?
Who knows? Fear makes people do amazing things.
Fear, don't you mean hysteria?
You said your sister-in-law killed a man and a woman here and cut them up? You said they found hands and feet, but they never found any heads. Would you like to see one of those heads? Would you all like to see one of those heads? Well then, just follow me.
Oh man, she is hysterical. And she consistently
Darling, I
consistently
really don't need
sets
this.
up that she's going to show them something and then it's not there when they go back. That gun is dead.
Just go look in my suitcase. Just go look.
Oh my god. Panties.
But it was in there.
She's got a heck of a
woman's
neck.
Nora,
She's like
I think you're a little
60%
upset.
neck.
Would you care for a sedative?
Get out! Get out, all of you! All of you, get out of here and leave me alone! Just get out of here!
You think it's all right to leave her by herself, Doctor?
I wish she'd taken the sedative.
Well, what do you suppose she thought she saw?
They're closing in on her.
Look, Doc, I think somebody ought to stay with her.
There could be 1,000,000 people around her. But if they wanted her, they'd get her.
What if he's right?
He's too drunk to know what he's talking about.
I wonder. I'll join you in a minute.
Do you think it would do any good if you went in and talked to her?
Well, do you think there really was a head in her suitcase?
I don't know.
A thing like that would put me right over the edge.
Look, would you sort of stay up here, I mean, in case she needs help?
All right. I'll be in my room. Just call it.
Thanks.
Are you sure there are only 7 people in this house?
Positive, except for the ghosts.
I don't believe in ghosts, nor in frightening women. In Nora's case, it's gone far enough. Perhaps too far.
What do you suggest we do about it, Doctor?
Don't frighten her anymore.
Knock it off. Yeah, Chad, I would probably just get slammered as well if this is how the night was going. Oh, no. Nora could be anywhere. All right. That's...
Nora!
I don't know how casually I just grab a severed head. People are like, when there's a dead bird on the street, they're like, oh, don't touch it.
What do you know about this?
They've taken her. In a little while, she'll be one of them.
Where's Norton? Where is she?
It's too late. It's too late. You'll never find her again.
Pritchard, if you know where she is, you better tell me now.
She's gone. She's gone with them. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Uh-oh. Oh, snap.
Nora.
Lay her down.
Nora?
No.
She's dead, Mr. Lauren. Your wife hanged herself.
Suicide.
Don't worry, Chad. The hunk still has Nora to end up with. Although, he probably would have preferred the saucy blonde. But he's still got the slightly older gambling addict news columnist as a fallback, as a C position.
Nora.
Hide me, please, hide me.
What's the matter?
Hide me.
So did you just put her back in her room? No, that's a different room.
He tried to kill me. He grabbed me and choked me and put me in that room. And then he went away and left me.
Who?
He thought I was dead.
Who?
Mr. Lord.
Are you sure about this?
I don't know. It was dark, but it must have been him.
Has anybody seen you since he left you?
I heard some people in that room, but I went by and nobody saw me.
Mrs. Lauren is dead.
But how?
Lauren said she committed suicide, but I think somebody killed her.
I think somebody killed her. Yeah, that's Nora's room. She said, hide me. And he just put her back in her own room. Although, to be fair, if I thought I had murdered her, that would be the last place I would look. So.
I'm sure you've come to the same conclusion I have.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's all have a meeting, discuss what to do.
Let's start
The living
kissing.
room?
Okay, in a minute. I gotta go downstairs. Now, you lock yourself in here and don't let anybody know you're here.
Lance, welcome. First of all, welcome to the chat. Second of all, I know Riff Tracks did House on Haunted Hill. I don't know if they ever watched it on Mystery Science Theater, like the proper Mystery Science Theater. I guess I'd be kind of surprised if they didn't. It's a perfect movie for them.
So beautiful. So greedy. So cold. What are you doing in here?
Wait. Don't wait.
What do you mean coming in here?
I didn't want them to take her away.
You're drunk.
They will if you don't watch her.
You're drunk. All right, out with it, Bridget. Why did you come into this room?
I'm the only one who understands.
Understands what?
Your wife isn't there anymore. She's already joined them.
Look, Bridget, I've had enough of your spook talk. Get out, you sot, and don't come back into this room again.
Calling someone a sot. You don't hear that anymore either. We gotta bring that back. We gotta bring Shant back. What else did we need to bring back? Drinking to excess. I mean, obviously, like how? I mean, obviously, this is a different situation. They're in a haunted house, but and that Vincent Price had a fantastic mustache back then. It's undeniable.
Where's what's her name?
Maybe we should bring that back.
Nora.
That style, the Vincent Price style mustache.
I didn't disturb her since I don't think this concerns her.
No, you're right.
Mr. Lauren, isn't there some way we can get out of this house now?
No, none at all.
We could try breaking out.
The
Acid
only door
baths,
outside
that's
is
right.
made of steel.
Creative
The bars to the
murdering.
windows are set
That's
in
what we
solid
were going to
stone.
bring back.
We gotta stay.
I'm not afraid of your ghosts, Bridget. But I am afraid. When we came here a few hours ago, the only thing we had in common was the $10,000 we'd get. Now, however, we share something else. The death of Mrs. Lauren. So far tonight, one of us was almost killed by a falling chandelier. One of us was mysteriously slugged. One of us has been driven to the brink of absolute hysteria.
That's
And one of
very
us is
true.
dead.
There's plenty of hipsters walking around with the Vincent Price
Were these
mustache.
accidents?
Chad, which
Suicide?
one is Watson?
And we must stay here for 6 more hours.
6 hours.
Is that Nora or is that the
Time enough.
sexy wife?
Who'll be next? How will it happen?
Let me ask you a question, Doctor. You were the first one to see my wife there. Did you also see anything that she could have climbed up on and then jumped?
No.
Did any of them?
No.
There was nothing.
Oh, drunk guy.
How then did she get up
His
there?
drunk
so
guy's
high?
first name
Exactly, Mr.
is
Lauren. How?
Alicia?
She couldn't have pulled herself up there. She couldn't have dropped from the ceiling. Do you think your
She
wife
stood on a
killed
block
herself?
of ice and then it melted.
No.
I know this riddle.
She was murdered by one of you.
Or you, Mr. Lauren. To deliberately kill someone, you must have a reason.
We were all strangers to your wife. Only you had a motive for murder.
What husband hasn't at some time wanted to kill his wife? What husband hasn't had 1,000 opportunities to do it in such a way so that he'd never be suspected? I'm not such a fool as to hang my wife from a ceiling by a rope.
The fact remains that you, or one of us, murdered Mrs. Lauren. And that's a matter for the police.
So how do we get the police?
That's my point. We can't until morning. What began as a silly party given by an eccentric has now involved us all in murder.
For once, Pritchard may be right. If another murder's in the works, let's stop it now.
Another murder?
Why not? Maybe one of us saw too much.
Why should even a millionaire want to give each of us $10,000 to spend one night in a gloomy old house? To see some ghosts, have a party? No.
Have you finished trying me, Doctor? And is the verdict guilty of murder?
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere. Somebody killed Mrs. Laura, and we know that. One of us is guilty, and the rest of us are innocent, okay? Now, what we have to do for the next 6 hours is protect us.
Figure out who did it, and where, and with what.
I don't think anything.
This is Clue.
I just know that I'm going to my room. And if anybody comes in, I'll shoot him. Or her.
And if we all stay in our rooms,
or
we'll be safe. Because the innocent will have no reason to leave his room. And the guilty will admit his guilt if he or she does.
And we all have guns.
And we're all agreed?
Oh, I wish this night were over.
Brooms? Guns? I tell you, it doesn't make any difference. They aren't through with us yet. What's the use of saying goodnight?
I'm gonna start saying that when I leave parties. What's the use of saying goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
No, Jackie, there's something wrong with, and I think it might just be a power supply problem, but when I streamed it from the VCR, it was almost like I had too many things, too many USB ports sucking up juice, and the webcam would flip out. It was like it was dying and restarting over and over again. So I just had to stream it straight from the computer, unfortunately. I got some ideas for how I want to start doing this off of the VCR. So it requires like one more little piece of equipment. I do have it, though. Do I have it handy? Hold on. Huh, well now I don't know where I put the VHS tape. I had it on the wall not too long ago.
It's me, Lance.
And I took it down to try streaming it. Oh well. I don't know what I did with it. Did I put it back on the main
They've
wall?
all gone to their rooms and locked themselves in.
I don't know.
Lance, I've been thinking.
That's
It
weird.
was so dark down there. Maybe it wasn't Mr. Lorne.
It was him, all right. He tried to kill you, and he did.
And now
kill his
Nora
wife.
thinks everything she said is...
How can you be so sure?
She's
He tried to
questioning
warn me.
everything
Asked
she
him to
has
help
said. She's looped back
The doc
around
thinks he's gonna
to
try and kill
thinking
one of
that
us.
she was hysterical.
Now, there must be a way out of this place, and I'm going to find it and get the police before he does.
I'm going with you.
What if he finds out you're alive? No, Nora. You're safer here than any place else. Now just lock yourself in and keep quiet. If I find a way out, I'll come back and get you.
It's really gonna start bugging me that I don't know what happened to my tape. Where would I put it? There it is. I do have to say, this movie's genuinely entertaining. Like, still. Not like in a, oh, like, you know, it's fun to watch an old movie kind of way. I don't know exactly what I'm saying. But this is still a legitimately engaging premise and story. And kind of the way everything's unfolding is pretty snappy. It doesn't waste a whole lot of time. There's sort of a delightful twistedness to it. Yeah, groovy. Oh, here she comes. I was just saying, not too long ago, I saw that the real house that they used for the exteriors was up for sale. It's out in California. I think it was California. And the exterior of that house still looks exactly the same. Well, Nora's gonna be back to full-blown hysterics again. No. Well, she left her room, and we know that whoever leaves the room is gonna be guilty. That's a legitimate reason to scream. Oh my. Oh, it's really hitting the fan now. I wish it turned out it really was just that Nora was hysterical, and none of this was really happening. She's got to be one of the original. There's another one. Like, I don't think they said Scream Queen back then. But, man, if we were picking, like, 1959's Scream Queens of the year, she'd be up there. Just walking around with a gun. Whoa.
And admission of guilt, Doctor?
Certainly not. There's either somebody else in this house or one of us has left his room. Did you hear anything?
You left your room.
Organ music?
That, and someone walking.
You got yours? Ready?
You look downstairs, and I'll look up here.
Why not together?
There may be only minutes, seconds left of someone's life. Why waste time?
Seconds left of someone's life. You sneaky dog. Nope, nobody heard Nora's hysterical screaming just down the hallway. Why would they?
It's almost over, darling.
Caleb,
Every
interesting
detail's
question. The way that, or the reason I'm allowed to stream a full movie like this without a copyright strike is because House on Haunted Hill is a public domain movie, which means nobody holds copyright over it.
We've done it.
I own it
Perfect
just
crime.
as much as you own it, and everyone owns it.
Has she killed him?
That's the beauty of it.
Not yet, but she will.
Get me out of this hanging harness.
Ooh la la, I bet this
Taking
was
that girl so
saucy
long.
back
What
in
time is it?
1959.
At first, I couldn't get Nora to want to protect herself with a gun. But after you appeared at the window, everything began to work just as we had planned. You were wonderful, just the touch that finally drove her into complete hysteria.
It'll be worth all of our planning, darling.
Complete hysteria.
Where's Nora now? What's happening?
On her way to the cellar. So scared she'll shoot the first thing that moves.
And Frederick?
On his way to the cellar, too.
Yes.
David, are you sure none of them will suspect us?
Of what? An hysterical girl accidentally shoots somebody? Who would suspect that we planned it that way, that we drove her to it?
What about my suicide?
But just a ghost party gag. We'll claim it was a dummy since I'm the only one who touched you.
And the caretakers?
But they had no idea what they were really doing.
What about Nora? She's not stupid, you know.
Darling, believe me, everything we planned is working perfectly. Nora is sure Frederick murdered you. She thinks Frederick attacked her in the cellar, not me. And now Nora's almost out of her mind with fear. The heads, the music, you're hanging. I tell you, when Frederick walks in there, she'll shoot him.
It's taking too long. David, you ought to be there.
No girl ever said that to me. Oh, did I hit something?
When you hear the shot.
There we go. Are we
come
back?
down to the
Okay.
cellar.
I had to lean in to make a saucy joke, and I bumped the mute button. No big deal. Also, by the way, are you going to do this weekly? I love it. Thumbs up. Groovy. We'll talk about that at some point soon. I don't think we're going to be watching a movie every week, but I do want to do something live every week. So we can get together and hang out and kind of talk about stuff. Talk movies. So we'll see. Oh, here we go. The dramatic climax.
No!
Goo! You got me. By the way, I just want to point out super quick, the fact that it was the doctor, the psychologist, you know, I don't know if he's a psychologist or just a medical doctor, but the fact that he's like knows about like medical fear and what it does, and he's using it against everybody in his like secret plot with I keep not remembering the wife's name, but it was a very clever twist. Lights went out, something happened, we heard acid boiling. Something went in that acid tank, that's all we know at this point. Ooh la la. She really is a bit of all right. It's like, was he a psychiatrist? It would make sense.
David? David?
Eve? Oh boy, all those doors. Lady, something tells me you're in trouble. Don't walk towards the acid tank. I don't know that name.
At last you've got it all.
Oh my.
Everything I have. Even my life. But you're not going to live to enjoy it.
That reverb.
Come with me, murderess. Come with me.
Not as good a scream as Nora. Lily Munster, yeah, I could see that. If you had like the Lily Munster makeup on her, I could see that. Whoa. Oh no. She almost fell. I wonder if this was like legitimately scary back in 1959, or if this was still like sort of silly. And speaking of sort of silly, we're about to get one of the silliest things in movie history here. Here it comes. Vincent Price with his giant marionette puppet contraption. So much of this movie is legitimately well thought out, well crafted. This is absurd. That is so dumb. Annabelle.
The crime you two planned was indeed perfect. Only the victim is alive and the murderers are not. It's a pity you didn't know when you started your game of murder that I was playing too.
There must be some way to get in here.
Oh, it's right along here somewhere.
Lance! I've shot Mr. Lorne. He's down in the wine cellar.
Alive?
I don't think so.
Oh, here we go again.
It's him. He's alive.
That's true. The remake. I mean, not that the remake.
You didn't shoot anyone, my dear.
Not that the remake is good.
I loaded your gun with blanks.
But
I can tell you
it's a guilty pleasure. I like it in that sort of a way.
Trent tried to throw me
Put
in
it
the
that
vat.
way. Especially when you
My
like
wife
this
stumbled and fell.
or this version of the movie, it's kind of fun to watch
ready
the
for
remake
justice to
and
decide if I'm
see the
innocent
new
or
interpretations of the characters.
Now there are 9. There'll be more, many more. They're coming for me now. And then they'll come for you.
Somebody told that ghost a very funny joke right before we left. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Holy cow. We did it. We did it, everybody. We did it. We watched House on Haunted Hill. Like I said this right away at the beginning, but it bears repeating. What I want to do for movie night, it's second week of the month we do movie night, but obviously being live, it is hard for everybody to get to hang out. So what I want to do, tonight's live stream is the one that's going to be up on the channel, but I am going to watch this movie again at probably 1 or 2 more times during the week. And probably at a different time. Instead of midnight, we'll do like we'll do a noon, maybe middle of the week, middle of the week kind of a thing or something like that. We'll just find another time or two to watch it, and hopefully be able to include get some other people that weren't able to watch with us tonight. Probably like the 200th time you've seen this movie. I haven't seen it too many times, I have to say. And I don't know why, because there are I don't know. I watch so many bad movies, and I watch so many movies again and again and again. And this has always been a movie that I like, but it's never like a go-to. So, which was nice. Nice to watch it again. A matinee, yes, exactly. So the idea would be when it's, the movie night movie this month is House on Haunted Hill, and I'm not going to watch more movies this month, but I'll watch this movie a few times so other people can have fun too. That's the idea, anyway. But like I said, we'll see how things go, but I definitely want to do more live stuff. I think this is a lot of fun, even if just 1 or 2 people end up being able to hang out and participate. I think it adds a lot to it. I'll probably start doing some kind of sort of movie news kind of live stream where we'll just talk about kind of what's been going on in maybe the last month's worth of news or last couple weeks worth of movie news. I had an idea where my first thought was because I want to talk about Tron as a franchise, and I want to talk about what are the things that it's done right as a franchise, what I would have changed about Tron Legacy, and moving forward, kind of what ideas I would have for the next step, whatever that is, if it's a movie, if it's a TV show, whatever it is, and kind of almost have like a franchise discussion where we like round table it and talk about kind of what we would do now or what we would have done. We look back and say what we would have done, but then we say, here we are. Let's talk about like our ideas for moving forward. And I think there's lots of franchises that it would be fun to kind of roundtable like that. Obviously, Ghostbusters is one that I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions on. That would be a fun one to do. Even things like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, I think are, there's a million franchises to kind of just sort of brainstorm. And I like that. I do that just by myself, like on a fairly regular, that's one of those like things when I'm driving or I'm in the shower or whatever, like I think about what I would do with this or what I would do with that. So I think that would be a lot of fun. And it's something, instead of me just sitting with like offline talking about all this stuff where I just sort of feel like I'm just saying it to nobody, it would be fun to do something like that live so that you could have your ideas and we could talk about stuff. So I believe you have opinions. And that's the point. Get everybody involved. So I guess we'll probably just wrap things up tonight. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Chad and Jackie and Groovy and Lance hopped in there. Caleb hopped in there. Was a lot of fun. I think that was everybody. But consistently, like 6 or 7 people watching. You don't have to comment. I'm a lurker, so lurkers are always welcome. So yeah, thanks everybody. We will see all of y'all's alley cats on the flip side, and we'll definitely try to do a lot more as far as live goes. And I got a lot of movies lined up, so the movie nights should be a lot of fun. And maybe, again, we'll see how things go, but maybe we want to do a lot more live stuff, and we want to do more movie nights, so maybe we'll up it to 2 movie night movies a month or something. The only thing I just don't want to, don't thank me, that's weird. Don't worry about it. Like, we're here to hang out. But I worry, obviously there are only so many public domain movies, so I don't want to go like hog wild on the movie nights. But I think 2 a month we'd still be able to do this for a long, long time before we really started running out of stuff to watch, like stuff that was of any quality. I also don't want to just be watching pure garbage. So yeah. Thanks, everybody. Again, if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I will always post a day ahead of time, and or at least in the day. I will post many, 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 many hours ahead of time that things are going to happen. Live things are happening to let you know that we're here. So yeah, all right. I will catch all you alley cats on the flip side. Bye-bye.